Hi everyone, my name is Abhishek Singh. I lead the business for Coursera for campus for the West region. Prior to that, I was with LinkedIn. Something that was very close to my heart is that I love cricket. Cricket is my passion. I deeply follow, play, and of course wanted to make a career there, but couldn't do much. Also, to give a quick kind of a resemblance, I am the grandson of Mr. KP Singh, who was the mess in charge during 1960 onwards, and I am also the son of a Hindi teacher, Mrs. Anita Singh, widely known as Mrs. Singh in the school right now. Probably girls' school and girls can kind of relate that too much. So that's a quick introduction about me. I am right now in Pune, and I lead the business for Coursera, as mentioned, for the West market. My entire role covers that I partner with colleges, universities, institutions to modernize their curriculum and increase their employability, and that's what has been with me since the time that I've started my career. So all my experience has been into human capital, skill development, and at the same time connecting talent with opportunities. I'm here today to share some, some insights about my journey today. And the first question that had come to me is about how did my journey kind of really begin? And today people know me for my work and achievement, but I don't think so that I've still arrived yet. But it's a very tough journey. I mean, when I say tough means of course everyone plays their own role, and everyone has to kind of uh, go back and make sure that their struggles are in place, because that what makes you a man. And I think that's been been taught to us in RKC today, that no matter how tough the situation is, you still find a way to kind of pivot internally, and that's what it is. So my professional journey started while I was with the Rajkumar. I mean, when with so once again. About my professional journey, it started back in Baroda. I post my 12th standard. I had gone down to Baroda and trying to represented. I was wanting to represent Baroda Cricket Association. Then I started playing for MS University. Got into the team, played there for quite 3 years during my graduation. But then later I realized that for me to kind of get into Ranji and then get into IPL would be a bit difficult. Like at least I have to give that 4 5 years more of my life's time in order to be there. And I felt that it was too much for me, and probably a lot of backup is required in cricket. So then widely, with the kind of academic background that my family has, they pushed me towards an MBA. I pursued my MBA from Bharati Vidyapeeth in Pune, got campus placed as a recruiter with Seneca on Technologies, again an IT MNC. But then later realized that my calling was sales, because I think I could communicate, I could talk more. My personality skills were more towards the marketing and sales side of it. And then that's where I started recruiting people, but then I understood the art of recruiting, understanding people. But then at the same time, I felt that my major calling was more towards the other side of it, which was selling, I mean selling ideas, trying to communicate with people, and that's what got me into sales. I joined Naukri.com, again India's largest job portal. I was leading the West market again for Naukri.com. I was trying to kind of do very well in the acquisition space. We get into the companies, understand what exactly they were looking to solve for, and publish those vacancies ads onto our website. That was my primary job. And then later on, I was a branch manager there, wherein I was managing the entire branch. Then later, then LinkedIn came in. I spent 5 years with LinkedIn. LinkedIn was again, like everyone knows LinkedIn, the world's largest professional networking website. And again, I was leading the West market there, wherein my major role was to again do the same thing, basically get in touch with companies to make sure that they are enrolling onto LinkedIn, putting up their vacancies onto LinkedIn. So that was my major role. And at the same time, we also had sold LinkedIn Learning. So LinkedIn Learning happens to be a very great e-learning platform wherein you can upskill yourself, right? And I got in touch with the senior leaders like CEOs, L&Ds, CMOs, to understand that where exactly a need of upskilling and branding also can come into picture. So that was the kind of entire role of LinkedIn, which really taught me quite a lot, and that really helped me in terms of what I am today. And now I'm actually with Coursera. My early struggles were in terms of finding the right job. What I understand is that RKCians are not that academically gifted. I mean, I defer to say that, now I see everyone getting 90%, but still during our times, it was much like 70% or 80% was like a great thing to do altogether. Despite me playing cricket a lot during my school days, I kind of gave my examination while I was playing and representing RKC for nationals, but I still managed to get 70 or 72 percentage. I don't, I vaguely remember that. And when I actually, saw a lot of people getting segregated basis on the percentages, where I understood that, okay, why academics matter a lot. But then if, after at least one or 2 years later, the soft skills majorly played a role. But what I actually see and go back and look into it now is that, and soft skills is the main differentiator between an academics and a personality that you actually carry and you have. And I think RKC really gives you that. What made me stay consistent was again the sports background and the kind of background that my house gave me, my parents gave me. So that's something that made me kind of stick on to it. And when I say struggles are not any, I mean, I don't think so. It's struggle. It's all learning and it's all a process altogether. So just keep doing and keep your head down, do your work. That's what helped me kind of do. It was just not never quit. It's that was the kind of motto that you don't have a backup plan, so the only thing that you have is this: go back and just work, give you 100%. If it happens, fine. If it doesn't happen, fine. And most of the times when I have tough time, I again go back to some quotes like "मन का हो तो अच्छा, ना हो तो और भी अच्छा." And कोशिश करने वालों की हार नहीं होती. So a lot of those poems and quotes that my mom taught me during my upbringing has really helped me to kind of pivot a lot of tough situations these days. And I'm blessed with a kid, so that's the thing that I'm actually into in my current state of work and professional life. Well, the most difficult phase in my journey so far has been in terms of just not thinking about myself, but also taking care of the entire family. And I think, I've fairly done a good job. I have always tried to kind of, not depend on anyone, or especially my mom, my dad, my family. So, I took a loan, I studied, I got that loan off, I tried and contributed to my house, my marriage, my brother's marriage, a lot of things. And yes, of course, a lot of setbacks that it comes to you. But I think once setbacks are very important because they still give you another way of hope in terms of going back and pushing yourself much harder. And I think that's what has helped me so far. Financial struggle, I mean, and no one can say he's financially free. Everyone is basically on never kind of uh, financially free today. It's all about you always want more, but by God's grace, we are doing quite fine so far, and I'm quite satisfied with what I've done lately. And a simple mindset, just go out there, irrespective how tough it is. Just go and show yourself up. You never know what exactly you can contribute. You would feel those times or those days wherein you feel you might not be. Uh, I mean, you feel you'll be irrelevant there. But the mindset is that how can you be comfortable in uncomfortable situations is what has really got me till here. Well, looking back, from my school days, that has shaped me as a person I am and a leader that the leadership skills that is there today is very simple because no MBA college taught me leadership. No graduation taught me any kind of skills today. To be very honest, it was more academic side of it. When you go out of RKC, you realize the value of RKC. The entire thing that I've been shaped into is all from RKC, to be very honest. All my soft skills, all my leadership skills, critical thinking, problem solving, adaptability, adjustmenting yourself to the situation, all of these flexibilities and all things that, it actually is a package as a whole, and which makes you a personality, I think is all will come from RKC. And as I said, how to be comfortable in being uncomfortable. That's the skill. That's the mindset. Hustle is the thing that, I think RKC just taught us. Discipline is very important. Morning 6 o'clock, I still remember Mr. Mahindra, Mr. Thakur used to kind of, be there, and people who were just not getting late into PT had to skip the entire day of school. So all those smallest of the things has made us realize that why punctuality, discipline is very important, and a small set of aggressiveness in you in terms of how impatiently you want to go and achieve your goals. I think clarity also plays a very important role out here, because once you're clear that this is what you want, I think there are forces in the universe which kind of help you to make sure that those goals are basically getting achieved. So patience, impatience, discipline, adaptability, leadership, mindset, all of this thing has just been and has just come in from RKC, and of course mentors like Mr. Thakkar, Mr. Mahindra, Mr. Upadhyay. Of course, never to say my God, my mom. So yeah, I mean all of that has come from the best of the teachers that I was blessed to get into my life. See, we are living in a very fast-paced world, and why bonds, school bonds, and communities like ORA matter today is about. I'll tell you a small example. I mean, I'll tell you a personal and a professional example. I was in New York, and I happened to touch base in Arcasian there because I was wearing this Arcasian T-shirt, and that guy bumped into me and just said, "Okay, you're from RKC." I said yes, and then fondly he remembered my grandfather. And then I told him that this is what is happening in the school. I mean, as per my knowledge, I shared him, and then the kind of bond that we kind of had, and that guy, I still remember, Mr. Patel had offered me some coffee or something, and gave me such great respect. And those kind of smallest of the things that RKC and that community brings to you is very much unimaginable. And another thing, when it comes to my professional life, while I was actually wanting to have a very big deal in play, and I got to know that the major CLO, CHRO, and executive director happens to be an ex-Arcasian. And once I went in there and I said, I'm actually I'm also an RKC alumni. My God, the kind of pace that I got in that deal, what was something that I can't still forget. And that was the time wherein my folks in where I was working with LinkedIn, they said, okay, this company might never get you some business. And within 15-20 days, I got the largest of the business, almost 1.5 lakh dollars deal. And that is where the impact of communities like Ora comes into picture. You don't realize it now. Once you go out and start doing business and start going places, that's where Aura community comes into play. uh, for someone young who's watching this, and want to build something meaningful in life, my advice to them would be clarity. And of course, once you have that clarity, the mindset in terms of never giving up. And I again say, I think, trying to be comfortable in uncomfortable is a very great thing. Um Once you have those smallest of rare of the qualities of never giving, the mindset is more about how can you make it large. Just understand that not everyone is blessed to study in a great institution like RKC. So you are, of course, differentiating yourself from crores and crores of people. That is the mindset you should kind of carry. Think big, do big, never settle, and always hustle is the very important thing. And stay grounded, to our culture, to our parents, to whatever things are there today. And always respect people who don't do well. It's also fine that it doesn't I think that people who are not able to achieve that much, if you give them enough respect, is where the humility and discipline and all of those soft skills come into picture. So try and stay grounded, have clarity, uh, be a hustler, never back down, and most important thing, do whatever you want, but try and do with a lot of integrity. So that's what it is about from my side. Thank you so much for having me. This is Abhishek Singh signing out. At the end, all I want to say is that I'm a proud RKCian. This is the t-shirt I'm wearing. I feel so blessed. My chest swells up with a lot of pride when I say I'm from RKC. I just say, I mean, I don't know, I've just created this course randomly that we can soar, we can roar, we can put you on the floor. We are the RKCians and we will prove that right. Thank you.